Today we're looking at this cheapo from Pergear, the 50mm F1.2, currently testing it on my XE5 all the way over there. Now this is their take on the Nikon 50mm 1.2 AIS. Interesting? Let's find out. First of all, you got to give a shout out to Pergear for their nice bag, which is always a very cool touch at this price point. Major props for that. Let's just check out clicky 1.2 to 16, relatively stiff, manual focusing 0.7, so 70 centimeters to infinity, and you can see it does move out a little bit there. It's quite a decent little weight. No markings, 52mm filter thread, obviously no weather resistance, all manual. 11 diaphragm blades, 7 elements, 5 groups. Thought that was supposed to be declicks, but I'm quite happy with that. Hyperfocal markings there. They're very Nikon-esque. It's a tidy feeling lens. Now, if I were to switch off the lights here, we might notice that these are supposed to be luminous. So glow in the dark. Interesting little touch there. But yeah, it's got some weight to it. Almost 800 test shots later, how do I feel about the build and the handling? I really like it, and maybe it's my favorite aspect about this lens, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. The rings work nice and smooth, the aperture clicks along nicely, and the manual focus ring has a good throw, which makes it nice to shoot with. It fits and feels right at home on my XE5, and overall I think it's a big tick for the build and the handling. Probably should have thought that through. Tick. That's opposite for you. So it's anyway. I'd prefer the Pergear logo to be smaller. And while the glow in the dark innovation is kind of cool, I'm not sure if I really need it. If it's so dark that I can't see the aperture value, then I'm not sure the lens is going to see the subject anyway, at least in any worthwhile way. Yeah, but it is cool. More importantly though, what about the image quality? Sharpness is good in the centers, not so great at the edges. Stop down to around 5.6 to see the best performance overall. Color rendering is okay, as is contrast. As you're seeing, spherical aberration is a big problem with this lens. That'll be in a whole load of samples, that's for sure. Distortion though, well controlled. Chromatic aberration, moderate if you go looking for it. Vignetting is kind of heavy, wide open, and clears up as you stop down to 2.8 onwards. Ghosting, flare, could be better. You're getting the idea. This is not and was never going to be a high performer when it comes to image quality. And while we've yet to get to the price, there's no surprises when it comes to the IQ. Call it a character lens. Put it in good light, or you might struggle to push it for, especially in post. As an f1.2 lens, how about the bokeh? Well, it's wild, it's imperfect, but it's kind of fun. I'm generally happy with the textures, and the specular highlights are clearly crackers, but sure, why not? All said and done, image quality is not exactly a win, but is the lens still worth it at its retail price of £119? We'll talk about that next. The lens is going for £119 at the time of recording, and less via Pergear themselves. So I'd say if it's your only choice, it's one for the fun basket, the character-filled kit, you know. It doesn't compete with the TT Artisan equivalent or the 7 Artisans we looked at recently, I believe. But, you know, it's fine. If you can get it sub £100, then cool, do it. If you fit into the above and you're on a super budget, you know, it's a cool looking lens after all, and that might be the winning factor for you. You can get some interesting images with it in the right light. So yeah, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Let us know what you think in the comments.